Do you absolutely feel like your next fight should be a title fight?
100%. I feel like everybody should be fighting for a title, but it's here nor there. So I'm gonna just continue to do my job and continue to beat the number one guys. I mean, this will be the second fight in a row. I'm fighting the number two contender. So I don't know what else you can possibly do to warrant a title fight.
TJ, would you want the title fight either way, whether it's a rematch versus Cruz or if Cody Garbrandt pulls off an upset?
Absolutely. I mean, the goal in this sport is to be the best in the world, and by doing that, it's having your belt. And I felt like I should never lost it. So yeah, I want it back. I don't care who it is.
TJ, would you mind sharing with us who you're rooting for, Cruz or Garbrandt, knowing that Cody does train at your old gym?
Normally, I'd be rooting for Garbrandt. There's it'd be funny for me to root for a guy that I really want to fight, but that's the reason why I want Cruz to win is because I want that win back. Like he thinks he beat me. He was going to talk a bunch of trash about how he thought that was an easy fight when really, really he knows I won that fight. So that's the fight I want. So I kind of have to be pulling for Cruz, but that's a crazy one to say because normally I'd be rooting for Cody.
TJ, John Lineker is, of course, a very good fighter. What challenges does he present on Friday night?
He's a brawler. He's tough. He's one of those tough guys that doesn't matter what's going on. He's going to come forward and try to knock your head off.
TJ, when you're preparing for your fights, do you watch a lot of tape on your opponent, or do you just like to keep your focus on what you can control with your body?
A little bit of both. At the beginning of camp, I'll watch some tape. I'll pick apart my opponent and see what he does right, what he does wrong, kind of game plan my entire camp around that. And then after that, I leave the tape watching Dwayne, and then I kind of just worry about what I'm going to do and the skills I need to get better at. Not only better to beat John Lineker, but just to be the best in the world. The things that I can get better at and things that I can maybe have a little tighter. So, yeah, so the answer to that's a little bit of both.
TJ, of course, your style is based in your wrestling background. Tell us how you've evolved as a fighter. How do you think you've become more well-rounded for the octagon?
Absolutely. To see, just watching my career as it goes, coming from the Ultimate Fighter and only having 4 fights and being strictly a wrestler, and winning those fights solely with having to take people down. And then, the first couple of years after that, kind of sticking to the same thing until Dwayne Ludwig came to Alpha Male, and my striking just kind of evolved from there. And now I've been more of a striker than I've been anything. And it's nice to be completely well-rounded and knowing that I can take the fight to wherever I need it to be, and just being technical enough to do that.
Do you feel like that gives you an edge come Friday against a guy who hits as hard as Lineker does?
I think it gives me an edge in every fight. I mean, that's the whole point of MMA is to mix your techniques up and to keep everyone guessing. I mean, I can go out there and knock John Lineker out. My stand-up is better. He's got big holes in his game. He drops his head and throws big hooks. I don't think I've ever seen him throw a straight punch in his entire career. So, I'm not. Trust me, he seems like he's got power, but I'm not worried about his power. That's what gets you in trouble is when these guys fight John Lineker and they're sitting there, they're so worried about his power that they're going to run or be afraid of the guy. But really, I don't. It's not like he's really starched anybody. It's not like he's gone out and hit someone once and knocked him out. You got to stand with him and just kind of brawl while he closes his eyes and swings punches.
TJ, your opponent has won 6 straight fights. He's on a very good roll right now. What will it mean to you should you be the man that puts that streak to an end?
I mean a lot. I mean, my last opponent was on an 8-fight win streak. Rafael Cincel doesn't get the credit he deserved. I mean, the guy was ranked number 2 in the world on an 8-fight win streak. It was one of the longer ones in the UFC, and I finished that one. And so now I'm going to continue to do the same with John Lineker. Just winning fights is what it really means, but yeah, it'll be nice to be the one that stops his win streak.
TJ, of course, you share this card with Ronda Rousey, who's one of the biggest stars in the sport, and she will return to the octagon for the first time in more than a year since suffering that loss to Holly Holm. What's it been like being around her in the lead-up to this card? What's the intensity level like surrounding Ronda Rousey?
I haven't really been around Ronda. She's kind of keeping to herself. She's taken a new approach to this fight. She's always been the one that's been leading the media when she's on the cards, and so I haven't really seen her much. And she's got a new game plan. She's going to try to only think about her fight and not have to worry about all the media and all the questions and everyone wanting to pick her brain about how she feels and how's the layoff. And so, she's probably sitting there just worrying about her fight and what she's going to do to perform. So I really haven't seen her much, but everyone's wondering how she's going to come out and look. So we will see on Friday.
All right, TJ, we appreciate you taking the time to join us here on the rally. Let's hope John Lineker was able to avoid putting on a few holiday pounds and make his weight for your fight.
I'm not too worried about that. I don't think the extra weight's going to help him out any. Really, it's just going to get me paid a little extra.
That's TJ Dillashaw, who will be fighting John Lineker this weekend in the UFC. We appreciate you taking the time for joining us, TJ, here on the